Yeah, Nico, I think that was all of our reactions after tonight's race. A lot of hype, but in the end, I think we all left feeling bad taste in our mouths. Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Jack Carlos, and welcome back to the episode of the Inside the Lines Victory Stop. The 2020 NASCAR All-Star Race from the Bristol Motor Speedway has just concluded, and Chase Elliott is now $1 million richer. In fact, he becomes the first driver since his father, Bill Elliott, back in Atlanta in 1986 to win the All-Star Race at a track that is not named Charlotte. So history repeats itself, and I guess it carries on from in the family tradition. And once again, the Dawsonville pool room sounds the alarm once again. While it was happy for the Chase Elliott fans, I think for me and many left that race with, let's just say, we were disappointed from what we saw. Now again, this All-Star Race came in with a lot of hype. First of all, like I said earlier, it was the first time that NASCAR is going to be doing the All-Star Race at a track not named Charlotte since Atlanta of 1986, and it's at a track like Bristol, which is everyone's, or at least majority of people's favorite racetrack, specifically with the racing that it produced back in May. We all expected to have a treat here tonight, with the addition of the Underglow bodies on race cars. Even with the, I guess you could say, discussions of the number placement. There was just so many things coming into this race that many people were predicting could be one of the most hyped up all-star races in quite some time. But it started off with a lot of hype, and it also started off with a lot of anger. Stage 1, nothing really happened. A lot of good racing, but overall, the whole entire portion of the Open had a lot of good, a lot of slipping and sliding racing, a lot of clean, aggressive racing, bumping and banging, but really nothing much in sort of big moments, except for this. This took place with 19 laps to go in stage 1. Bubba Wallace heading to turn 1, bumps Michael McDowell just a little bit out of the way, moves with the racetrack, and then McDowell just straight up dumps, just absolutely wrecks Bubba Wallace. Wallace hits the wall hard on the outside with the back end of his race car. Michael McDowell then turns himself after coming down in front of William Byron heading into turn 3. And when I first saw this happen, I was feeling a lot of emotions, because when you right rear someone the way McDowell did, I mean, you're asking to fight. You're asking to get your ass kicked, and McDowell deserved to get his ass kicked for that one. Unfortunately, apparently from the people at the racetrack, a lot of people were cheering, and obviously, it's at Bubba Wallace, and you know what's happened in recent weeks. You know it's because of the stuff that's been going on off track. Speaking of Bubba, there was also, apparently when his name was called out for the driver intros, 90 to 95% were boos. In fact, I've heard even some people say it was like a Kyle Busch type of reaction, which is honestly disappointing. And it's really pathetic to anyone that boos Bubba Wallace, not because of what's been going on. You're honestly a pathetic human being. No respect for you, simple as that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about his attitude, which I don't really get, because if you look at the things that he's gone through, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would react in the same way. I'm looking at you, Ultimate Dragon, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, back to the incident between him and Michael McDowell. Bubba, when he got out of his car, went straight back into the infield. And I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. I thought first maybe he would stay on the racetrack and maybe throw his helmet at Mike McDowell or something like that. Nope, just went straight back into the infield. But he did offer this interview. Take a listen.
Oh, just disrespect. When you get hooked into the wall, my hair looks terrible. Sorry, Mom. When you get hooked right rear in the wall, it's I don't even need to see a replay. Look at that. Yeah, wow. One of the nicest guys in the garage. Can't wait for the God-fearing text that he's going to send me about preaching and praise and respect. What a joke he is.
Yeah. Oh my God, Bubba, you didn't have to kill the guy. I mean, holy crap, he murdered him. Straight up murdered him on live TV. It was, and to be fair, I mean, I don't know. I can't. To me personally, you cannot disagree with what he's saying in terms of at least understand his anger. I know some people might say, oh, he went a bit too far with the religion quote, but at the same time, it's sort of like, I get it. And Michael McDowell, oh my God, that was so stupid. I lost a lot of respect for McDowell, because usually whenever you right rear someone or like hook someone like that, there has to be a reason. There was literally no reason for McDowell to do that to Bubba. I get it. There are situations where, yeah, you hook someone in the right rear, but there's a reason for that. Legit. McDowell had no reason to do that. Bubba didn't ram him, really bumped and run him out of the way or do anything like that. He sort of gave him a touch, just a tap. And for you to wreck him is absolutely pathetic from McDowell's part. Wallace did a really, really funny thing. Take a picture from this. Wallace actually took a piece from his race car, and placed it in front of the 34 team's hauler. I believe then after when the 34 team went back into the hauler, I think they took it back and placed it next to a trash can. So, and the thing is, Wallace and McDowell, they are near the same category. They're around the midfield area. It's not like what we saw, I think, 2 or 3 years ago between Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at the Daytona, where Kyle Busch was up front, Stenhouse was in the back. This time, you have two drivers that are gonna run next to each other. And Bubba said in his interview, you heard, lost respect, just disrespectful what he did. I keep an eye out on that. Things could be brewing. I keep an eye out on both Wallace and McDowell in the next coming weeks. But yeah, outside of that, really nothing much happened. Again, it was just good racing. William Byron won Stage 2. Eric Almirola won Stage 1, by the way. Stage 3 was won by Matt DiBenedetto, and Clinton Boyer won the Fanville. Again, nothing much really happened, but it was still just overall really good racing. So we expected that to carry over into the All-Star race, but apparently it did not. So let's first explain the Underglow. That was a major excitement factor and experimental factor for this all-star race. Now, I was on the impression it would be this. This is from Kyle Larson's car when they did the burnouts in Nashville. That's what I expected it to be. Apparently, it was very... It was just a disappointment. Let's say you didn't get what you pay for. What we were expected to happen was that from Kyle Larson and from the Nashville burnouts, but what we got was this. Yeah, only lights from the tail end, from the back end of the race car. It just looked weird to me. It just looked kind of cheesy. It just didn't feel right. Another issue was that the fact that the Underglow colors were made by the manufacturers in terms of, so let's say if you ran a Ford, all Ford cars ran blue, all Toyota cars ran red, and all Chevy cars ran an amber-like color. That was just weird. I felt like it would have been a lot better to have the Underglow color match the paint scheme. So for example, Chase Elliott, he had a UniFirst car that was mostly white, have it be a white Underglow. Jimmy Johnson had a black and purple, mostly purple, run a purple Underglow. Have it match the paint scheme, have it be all around to make it look cool, to make it looks like it actually fits with the car. Having the Underglow just located on the back end just looked very weird to me. So we're already off to a bad start. But yeah, overall, the front contenders throughout this entire race was Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, and Chase Elliott. Ryan Blaney took the lead early on the start. Lap 8, already the first caution to come out. Kurt Busch, he got turned after making contact with Brad Keselowski. He backed into it just a little bit, but not much to affect his car, what I thought. But nah, he would have apparently suffered real bad damage, and he would finish dead last. Now, the people at the Bristol Motor Speedway did apply that sort of PJ1 traction compound to the racetrack, and it looked like old Bristol. It reminded me of old Bristol, not in terms of the action-packed racing, but in terms of just being on the bottom. The bottom is the way to go. It seemed like as soon as you slide up or move up to the top lane, you felt like a rock. The bottom lane was the way to go, and it was like that for really all of the entire race, if not except for the last 15 laps of Stage 4. So yeah, Blaney wins Stage 1. Stage 2 begins. Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick out in front. Harvick had a really good car. Was the only driver that was able to at least challenge Ryan Blaney for the lead, but ultimately wasn't able to do so. But on the restart Stage 2, Chase Elliott makes a really good pass on the outside lane on the restart heading into turn 3 outside of Kevin Harvick, and he would take the lead, and that was really the only thing that happened that entire stage. Chase Elliott will go on to win Stage 2. Now, Ryan Blaney stayed out at the start of Stage 3. It was a very interesting tactical move that him and his team did. At least that's what I thought. And apparently it worked, sort of. Blaney was able to hold on to the lead for quite some time, still showing that track position is key, even with the 750 horsepower package. He was able to go out for, I want to say, halfway for the race, if I'm not mistaken. Chase Elliott would then ultimately take the lead on those fresher tires with 13 laps to go, and Elliott will go on to stage 3. It was a pretty good battle at the time, him and Chase Elliott. There was even a cool, I think, throughout battle between Keselowski and 2 other drivers, if I'm not mistaken, but that was really about it for stage 3. Stage 4 begins. Chase Elliott, the race leader. Kyle Busch gets an incredible restart. I think went from 5th to 2nd, and looked like he might started to chase down Chase Elliott. We might have a really good battle for the race lead, but ultimately that would not be the case. Elliott was able to hold off and actually grow his lead on Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott would win the NASCAR All-Star Race for the first time in his career. Like I said earlier, he would be the 2nd driver to win the All-Star Race at a track that's not Charlotte. The first time was his father, Bill Elliott, back in Atlanta of 1986. Let's take a look now at the results from tonight's All-Star Race. Chase Elliott wins with Kyle Busch in 2nd place, Kevin Harvick in 3rd, Brad Keselowski in 4th, and Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 5. Ryan Blaney comes home with a 6th place finish, Joe Logano in 7th, Alex Bowman 8th, Eric Almirola 9th, and Mark Truex Jr. rounds out the top 10. Eric Jones, William Byron, Matt DiBenedetto, Justin Haley, 14th place finish for him, and Clinton Boyer rounds out the top 15. Boyer, he had raced his way into the All-Star Race due to the Fanville. Cole Custer, last week's winner, finished in 16th spot. Jamie Johnson in 17th. Matt Kenseth 18th. Ryan Newman 19th. By the way, I should say Ryan Newman, he also had an incident where he spun off at turn 2 and hit the inside wall just a little bit with the front nose. They think that was the second real caution of that race. And Kurt Busch, with that damage, I thought it would not affect his car, but apparently it did. He would finish dead last in the 20th spot. Now, ultimately, like I said at the start of it, it came in with so much hype, but at the end of the day, I think we all left very disappointed. This race was, as Nico Hulkenberg would say, very disappointing to say the least. Fox, I still don't understand how people can say Fox is better than NBC. I know some people, a certain YouTuber believes that Fox is better than NBC, but one thing I was very curious about was the choose cone rule and how that would affect with strategy. Apparently Fox, they didn't want to tell us, because I'm pretty sure not a single time we saw the choose cone rule live on TV. I could be mistaken, but I don't think we saw it once on live TV. So, because when we came back to green from commercial, it was at the 1 to go, and it was just coming around to take the green flag. Too many commercials, specifically when the battle between Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney was heating up near the end of stage 3, they cut to commercial. Granted, yes, it was side by side still. I mean, it takes like 10 minutes for 13 laps at Bristol. You really need to go to commercial? Like, come on, Fox. They did have this funny, cool moment when they brought DW back into the booth. DW was at the booth at Bristol, and he was there to do that boogity to start the All-Star race, and that was a cool moment. Seeing the game back together with Larry McReynolds, Mike Joy, Jeff Gordon, and Darrell Waltrip, that was a cool moment. I want to say something right now. There's a picture floating around, I'll put it on screen right now, of someone actually wearing a Confederate flag shirt. I don't know how he got in there. I want to know who let that guy in there, because I'm pretty sure NASCAR said Confederate flag should not be represented in any way, shape, or form at NASCAR events. How did he get in there? All right. I don't know. More than likely, he probably just snuck it in there. Probably had a bag and just snuck it in there, or was wearing a jacket and probably just covered up, or what. But how did he get in there? All right. That was a major L to the Bristol security, I should say. Overall, what would I give this race? A 4? I mean, I don't know. I feel like Bristol runs the best when it's, when the tires are worn out. I think we saw that with May. Having a 15-lap sprint to the finish, nah, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, it's just too little time for the track to start to take form, start to build character, because the Bristol races, they're at their best when it's on a long green flag run, I feel like, or when the tires are worn. I think you can speak for the past 3 or 4 Bristol races. Look at the best type of racing. Happens either on long green flag runs or when the tires are worn. I think maybe next year, let's say next year, if they do it at Bristol, have the final 2 stages, don't pit, or something like that. But it was a pretty major letdown. Again, I give this race about a 4 out of 10. I give it the 3 points I give it for hype, but 1 point for execution. Very disappointed to say the least, but hey, stuff happens. Sometimes a lot of hype, majority of the time it leads to a lot of disappointment. But yeah, I'm really glad that NASCAR's moving to NBC. This Fox broadcast was not good. It was cool with the drone cam and stuff like that, but God, I can't wait for Texas. Not because it's Texas, but just because NBC is back. So can't wait for that. But I will give credit to Fox for everything that they did to try and provide us with content for NASCAR, not only throughout this whole pandemic issue with them trying to provide us with the best content with what they had to deal with, also providing us with content with the iRacing Pro Invitational. So I will give credit to Fox for that, but y'all need to work on your coverage, man. NBC is miles better than you. But yeah, that's enough for me. What are you guys' thoughts on the All-Star race? Tell me in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Because actually, I will say before I go, I want to say one last thing. Major disappointment on the crowd. Not because of the people being there, but because apparently you didn't have to wear your mask once you were in the grandstands. You had to wear your mask to get into Bristol, but once you're in the grandstands, you didn't need to wear your mask. And apparently, a lot of people were not wearing the mask. And during Chase Elliott's interview, you see rows and rows of people just standing on top of each other, basically, no mask. Major disappointment on that part. I mean, you should be wearing a mask all the time, anywhere you're out in public. Even Chase Elliott went out and touched hands with the fans. I'm like, Chase, what are you doing? Stop! I hope Chase gets tested right away because didn't like that. That may be. Ugh. I mean, for God's sakes, there was even a picture of a black guy standing or climbing on the fence. Because he was a Chase Elliott fan, it was exciting he won. Only a NASCAR. But yeah, next race will be at Bristol Sunday on NBCSN. God, I'm not looking forward to that race. But yeah, that's enough for me, guys. Like I said, tell me in the comment section down below what are your thoughts on this race. And until next time, my name is Jet from MDK. And I'll see you guys next time.